Show waits until episode 3 to decide that deadly palaces may have guards, giving me a name of a planet I'll never remember instead of telling me how many years ago this was so I'll know it's a flashback. At least tell me how many years before Paul Atreides this scene is. Whales with fur. Thought it was just going to be a one-off joke, but here they are. I bet they're disgusting, like eating salmon with a wig.
I carved this for your collection.
Collecting teeth. Or is that a claw? Collecting body parts.
Your father has plenty of status.
Oh yes, the mayor of peasants.
Valia insults her immediate family by punctuating how great their ancestors used to be as if the people at this table weren't already aware.
Is she right? Am I entitled? Greedy?
Thinking we need a flashback to know the answer to this question that the show has already answered.
I mean, I was sinking, then I heard you. Your voice in my head, ordering me to swim.
Growing an aversion to flashbacks right when it would have actually been cool to see. Watching Valia in a desperate struggle to save her brother, unlocking the voice for the very first time, but, you know, hearing people talk about it in a desolate tundra is almost as exciting, I guess.
You're not entitled or greedy. You're extraordinary.
To be fair, she could be all three things.
That's why if you think the best course of action is to track down Vorian Atreides and get him to take back his lies, I will.
That sounds like a terrible plan. It was a terrible plan. Also, what the f***? We don't even get to see a Harkonnen confront an Atreides about his lies and get struck down in the fight that ensues? Why is this series addicted to skipping all the cool scenes? Part of me is disappointed he isn't on a sled.
What if it's true that he is touched by the Maker?
The Maker? Is Desmond Hart from the Dragon Age universe here now? Can't wait to see him go up against Solus.
This came from Tula.
Risking using the rebel sister as your messenger. Why couldn't you send it directly to Valia via Sisterhood super secret mail?
She said the key to the reckoning was one twice born. In blood and in spice. It's Desmond Hart.
Needing a vision quest to figure out things that are already this obvious. Lukewarm tea. I mean, there's no steam, and it's a tiny glass with no handle, so if it was hot, there'd be melting fingers. I see no melting fingers. Lukewarm tea. Sin. I guess sometimes tiny carved claw teeth things fall out onto the floor and no one notices around here. Revealing your torture devices to your future in-laws.
Now this next part is tricky. Right, so you see this? There's a toxin in there powerful enough to kill a person.
Tricky? Oh, that's not tricky. Doing a kickflip is tricky. That's murdery.
Want to do the next one?
What? It takes years for Schiff to know how to prepare pufferfish, but you're just going to let this kid straight out of the woods f around with those powerful toxins? Trying to make me feel really bad for a horse after I already had to shut off the compassion part of my brain 2 episodes ago when you burned a 9-year-old child to death. Where did the syringe for the horse poison go? She was holding it in the previous shot, but here it's not in her hands. Did she stab her boyfriend with it?
What if the Imperium's corrupt?
Young Valia is that one edgy freshman in Intro to Philosophy who thinks they're being cool by asking questions like this. Shut up and let your professor finish the lecture so I can go back to my dorm and play more Halo.
Now she's all about humility and servitude.
Gross. She probably wouldn't even, for instance, poison one of us for arcane knowledge. What a loser.
I was going to be my brother's truthsayer when he went to the Landsraad. Then he was murdered.
Off screen. But they've talked about it a bunch, so you know everyone's really sad about it.
Sisterhood above all.
Sisterhood above all.
Sisterhood above all.
What a dumb final test. I would have been out of there so fast. As soon as it was even just a little bit windy, I'd be all Sisterhood above all, then be back inside curled up with a good book and an oil lamp, even though it's supposedly the future and not the 1800s. Sudden the voice when I'm trying to sleep, damn it.
When I lost my husband in the machine wars, it was like a limb torn off.
Every time they mention the machine wars, my eyes glaze over and I imagine steel clashing on steel, heroic speeches, gut-wrenching sacrifices, and something I'd actually enjoy seeing.
When we marry, is that a proposal?
Yeah, maybe.
Yes.
Yeah.
Accidental marriage proposals. HBO thinking this is what I meant when I asked for more action scenes. I meant scenes where something interesting happens, not random characters I don't even care about doing the boingy bong.
I want to give you my life, my future.
Not being clear that you do not mean death. This mosquito net is infuriating me and I don't even know why. Is it because this is the future? Is it because they have spaceships? Is it because they should have been able to easily eradicate mosquitoes or bioengineer them so they don't bite people? They have force shields.
I was afraid if you knew who I really am, you'd never allow yourself to get close to me.
Chatting up your next murder victim instead of just getting to the murder part as if the episodes have to be an hour long. They don't.
I'm sorry.
Confusing penitence with mild inconvenience. And that's the boy whose bloodline will eventually lead to Paul's in 10,000 years, isn't it? Damn it, Tula. It's your fault for not finishing the job, and now the galaxy will eventually get a Worm Emperor. Which, by the way, Worm Emperor was also the title of my Oh, look, she's crying, so I dislike her less for all the people she murdered. Yeah, that'll do it. Tula may have killed basically everyone, but because she did that, the bull gets to live. Woohoo! And bonus, it appears as a sign of Atreides' power to survive above all, or a sign of hearkening, cunning, and justice. I'm not sure what the bull means, actually. Maybe it's bullshit. Yeah, it's bullshit.
Thou shalt not make a machine in the likeness of a human mind.
That gives you so many different types of machines to choose from, though. But they still have almost nothing. You could have cameras. You could have those electric bug zappers instead of those mosquito nets. I get that it's sci-fi fantasy, but I may as well be watching Downton Abbey most of the time.
From the time of the wars, we've been gathering DNA from across the Imperium.
Stealing Nick Fury's idea from Secret Invasion.
It's going to be me.
Butchering NSYNC lyrics.
I didn't think it would work so well.
Forgetting to be pissed about being mind controlled to slap your friend and just giving into the fun of it all.
I've also watched you both amass followers.
Not showing the Reverend Mother the same show we're watching. We have seen no such followers being amassed.
This phrase caught my eye. The suet has been enjoyed by all.
Reading other people's mail. That's f***ing rude. Just got dropped off in my spaceship. Now I gotta walk home because the frozen land has no cool space sleds, apparently.
Or Atreides is dead.
They all are.
Shame Valia doesn't use her truthy magic right about now.
You shouldn't have come back. You've done enough.
I'll take your word for it, guy who had 2 seconds of screen time before this scene.
Did you even think how that massacre will blow back at us?
Show's asking me to think about a massacre blowing back on them, but forgets that we're often in the future where there appeared to be no real blowback.
Pick up a knife!
Valia tells someone to pick up a knife. Cliché.
What are you doing?
Getting ready to watch an entire family get sliced, but then it doesn't happen, and I'm oddly disappointed and wondering if I'd rather be watching the Red Wedding all over again to make up for the lack of anything interesting happening in this scene.
Sorcerous!
This is the future. Why not upgrade Sorcerous to a neato sci-fi word like Warpenschwelt? Also, the exhausting part of this family is that their anger is pointed to Valia all the time. Sure, she pushed for revenge, but is it her fault for her siblings' choices? With that logic, it could just as easily be the mother or father's fault for not doing a better job of convincing the children to not kill. Anyway, this scene reminded me of awkward Thanksgivings, and I hate it. Microdosing alone in the wilderness. Aw, yeah. Finally get to see Valia wake her foremothers and become a Reverend mother. Aw, this is gonna be so cool. Wait, that's it? 3 quick flashes of whispers and shadows? That's it? Damn it, Dune Prophecy. This foremother is one of the coolest parts of the series so far, and you speed past it at 70 miles per hour? Here's 9 cents for robbing me of yet another really cool scene. They look foreboding. I'd like to think all of her ancestors are ashamed of her hatred of whale fur.
I survived.
Yeah, we could tell by the whole not being dead thing.
Promise me the Sisterhood will be a fresh start for us.
Asking your sister to make promises you know she won't keep. These characters I don't know will now spend all the some time saying goodbye to a character I barely knew.
Aunt Valia, what an unexpected surprise.
Is it a surprise? I don't even know who you are. Generally, for surprises to be surprising, I need some context.
I know how difficult that was for you. Letting Lila go.
Not being able to use your truthy powers, and since your sister is full of shit and keeping a massive secret. How the hell did she sneak the body down there? I get that Lila is tiny, but it's still, dead weight. And what were you going to do with the body? Is there not an actual funeral planned? No burial? No cremation? Just off of life support and somebody else's problem?
Spice can rejuvenate the mind.
I feel like you're just mentioning spice here because you think we'll forget that we're watching a Dune product. And the real sin is that you're correct. Show yada yada yadas past Mother Raquel keeping a thinking machine in the basement of her school after one killed her husband, and I'm just so tired that I can barely summon the energy to care. So just take 3 sins and let's get to the next episode.
Rosebud.
Bring out your dead! Bring out your dead! Bring out your dead!
Farm boy, polish my horse's saddle. I want to see my face shining in it by morning.
As you wish.
I told you to let it breathe.
We are men in the woods and we're doing this.
Run, Forrest, run! Run, Forrest!
What's this blue stuff, eh?
Oh!
Oh, it's called a cartail. Stupid new American fad.